What's up? I think we are live. Hey, Nick. Hey, Michelle. I think we're live.
What's going on, David?
How you guys been?
Good, man. How are you?
Pretty good. It's been a pretty good week. I had my birthday on Sunday, so that was kind of cool.
Happy birthday, homie.
Thank you, man. I really didn't do much, which is fine with me. I was okay with just what's that?
Quarantine birthday?
Yeah, quarantine birthday. I usually every year for my birthday we go to like a Japanese steakhouse just because I that's one of the places I love going, and called over there and they were like, yeah, unfortunately we are not open. You can come get takeout if you want to, which I've never before this past Sunday done Japanese steakhouse takeout. But it wasn't that bad, actually. So at least I got to eat the food I wanted.
Yeah.
I just didn't get to see all the hibachi, which is, half the fun of it all, right?
Right. The squirting stuff in your mouth, fire.
Yeah, absolutely.
And train across the.
Right.
Yeah. The train with the onion. Yep. Exactly. Too funny. Well, hey guys, if you're just joining us, we got an exciting show for you guys today. We're going to recap some of the things from last week. If you were watching last week or you happened to catch our replay of last week, we had a challenge that we're going to address in just a little bit here. We do also want to encourage you. This is all about interaction. So if you're watching right now, we want to encourage you to leave us a comment. In the post, you'll see there's a link to a StreamYard. It's just to give you the opportunity for StreamYard to show who you are and your name and your Facebook picture. So please click that link before you comment so we know who you are. But we want you to be interactive. We want you to be involved. We want you to be a part of the conversation with us. We got a really awesome couple that are going to be joining us in just a little bit, our guest tonight. And we're excited to have them on board with us. So before we do that, though, Nick, I'm going to turn it over to you, man. Let's kick off a little bit of a recap from last week.
Sure. Yeah. So we talked about marketing and specifically why video is so important in today's marketing scheme. A lot of the content online nowadays is marketing or is video. So it's really important that you do it. We kind of talked about how it doesn't need to be perfect and it doesn't have to be like even polished. I mean, just kind of look what we're doing right here. It's nice, but it's not like that next level stuff. So a phone will do you well if you can afford it. Some lights, they're pretty cheap, or a microphone. But other than that, just start recording, start filming yourself. We made some videos, so mine's kind of so just start doing it. The point of the challenge was to say we're going to make a video. It's not going to be the best, and we're just going to put it out there. So that's kind of like putting our money where our mouths are, I guess.
So yeah, and one of the things we talked about last week, Michelle was saying that she hates getting in front of the camera, and I think there's so many people. Ironically, there's so many people in our industry where we're in front of groups of people all the time doing what we do. Or I guess from my standpoint, from the entertainment standpoint, we are. Maybe from a videographer standpoint, not as much in front of people, kind of behind the scenes, and then even with being a wedding planner, Michelle deals a lot with the couple and the wedding party and somewhat with the guests and things like that. So, but at the end of the day, the point is that you're exactly right. Like video it's not like the next thing. It's not like up and coming. Like video has been forever. And like, if we're not doing video now, we're already missing the boat. And I think the point you made about the fact that it doesn't have to be perfect. I think that we have transitioned from when people used to want to make everything perfect and people wanted to see things perfect and polished and stuff like that. And now I think we've moved back into people just love authenticity. It's so much easier to resonate with and to connect with somebody who shows you that they're not perfect, who, like, for example,
vulnerability.
None of us are like standing here in suit and tie and a dress and all that stuff. Like, we're here to have fun. We're just here to talk, have a good time, share some information. The content that we share is hopefully the most important thing about these lives that we're doing. And it's the same thing for your videos. When you're making a video, it's all about the content. It's not about the presentation necessarily. I do think that in the scroll society that we live in, there is a necessity to hook people with your videos. So that's definitely something to think about when you're making videos. It is important to hook people, but your message still has to be important.
Definitely. I mean, you look at Gary Vee's content just real quick. I mean, His stuff, right? Like his stuff is not polished by any means. He's just loud, like in your face kind of stuff. And that's what kind of gets your attention, right? Like his videos, I mean, they're like on a phone, like they're selfies of like his iPhone, like just like holding it in front of him. But his message and how his charisma just kind of like draws you in. So that's like just one thought that I had about that earlier was like, man, Gary Vee's videos are like meh, and like he gets millions and millions of views. It's like it's the content itself, not the actual video.
Yeah, absolutely. Just building that following. And going back to, I think, the old adage that we continue to say over and over again, creating the basic business presence of people know, like, and trust you. And when people know, like, and trust you, then you're going to be able to, your message is going to be better received. Everything is just going to be a better situation. And I think anything that we can do to create that possibility is what we want to do. And doing that through video is a great way to do it, because video touches a lot of the different senses. People can hear you, people can see you.
Yeah.
It touches multiple senses, so that however somebody receives the information versus the way you convey the information, but the way they receive the information, it's kind of a 2-for-1 deal. So you can catch them visually or you can catch them audibly, whichever one makes more sense to them, right?
Definitely.
All right, so let's jump on our videos. Let's take a look at our sample videos that we made for this challenge. So Michelle, I'm going to start with yours because I know you want to just get yours out of the way, right? But yeah. I think you did a great job, Nick. Don't you think she did a great job? I mean, honestly, for somebody who says that they don't like to be in front of the camera, I think she did a great job. So here we go.
Definitely.
This is Michelle's video that she made.
Hey guys, for those just tuning in, on the last segment of WBG, we discussed some marketing strategies. Video was one of them, and apparently they are the new, easy, fun, convenient way to be doing some marketing. Everyone's doing them, and we all should be too. However, I hate the video camera and being in front of it. So of course I was challenged to come up with a video, just to practice getting in front of the camera, being more comfortable with it, reaching outside my comfort zones. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself today, just so you guys can get to know me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Michelle. I actually go by my middle name. My first name is Jacqueline, and I am a wedding planner here in Northeast Florida. I've been with Coastal Celebrations for about 6 years, and I am a Flagler College alumni. I moved here 10 years ago in August, and I moved from the Outer Banks, North Carolina. And no, for those of you who watch the series on Netflix, I am not a kook or a pogue, and that doesn't exist. But yeah, just a couple of things about me. I have a dog. Her name is Nalu. If you follow me on social media, 8 out of 10 of my posts are of her. She's my world. She'll be 7 years old, and she's around here somewhere. And I love being on the boat. I love being on the water in my spare time. And I absolutely love music. I listen to music all over the spectrum of genres. And I did play musical instruments growing up. And if I wasn't a wedding planner, I'd probably be trying to do something in music, because again, it's my favorite thing in the world. You can always find a song to suit your mood or the activity you're doing or the place you are. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'll probably watch it later and cringe over and over again. Yeah.
All right, so there you go. Let's clap it up. That was good stuff. Right?
No, it was honest. It was transparent. I like it.
Yeah. So here's some cool things about this video to me. Number one, Michelle, I've known you for a long time, and of course, I'm as soon as you mentioned your dog, I was like, "Yep, I see it on Instagram stories all the time." I remember when she got away for a little while, and we were worried about her, but she came back, thank goodness. So that makes a connection with me personally, because I was invested in when she was missing, you know what I mean? So that was really cool that you jumped into that. Of course, you talked about music, which is something that I love. It's 100% of my life. So that was really cool. And I think at the end of the day, you were just open and honest about, what you were saying. Nick, anything to add to that?
Kudos. No, extremely authentic. And like you feel like you're making, like you're not trying to be a certain way. Like you're just very transparent. So that's, yeah, did a great job.
What you see is what you get, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it was done. I think it was good. I think it was done really well. And the beauty of it is that was like technically kind of like your first time. And the more you do it, the more often you do it, the more comfortable you become. We talked about that off camera, just talking a little bit about, just make a bunch of videos that you think suck, and eventually you're going to be like, oh wow, this one's pretty good. And stick with that. So. All right. So once again, guys, if you're watching or if you're just joining us, please feel free to jump into comments, leave us some comments. Let us know what you guys are thinking tonight. Let us know how you're feeling tonight. We're monitoring the comments. We want you guys to be a part of our episode tonight. We want to answer your questions. We have our guests coming on in just a little bit. They're going to be able to hopefully answer some questions that our viewers might have. So we just reviewed the video that Michelle did from our challenge from last week. I'm getting ready to play my video. I feel bad now. Your video really was very personal. Mine was so salesman-y now. I almost want to redo one. But nevertheless, I'll go ahead and do one. I'm going to go ahead and play my video now. So here we go. Hey guys, it's David from WeddingBusinessGrowth.com. Today kicks off my 20 and 20 in challenge. And what I'm going to encourage you to do is to come back 19 more days after today. That'll be a total of 20 days. And each day I'm going to give you a tip on your business that I've learned over the last 20 years of doing my business. Fair enough? All right, so here it is. Tip number 1. It should be a simple thing, and you think it would be, but don't treat your business like a hobby. That's right. Do not treat your business like a hobby. If you want your business to be a full-time opportunity for you to quit your day job or just do something you absolutely love doing, you have to treat it like a business. You can't treat it like a hobby. That means you got to understand the financial necessities, you got to understand the time necessities, and you got to be in the right position to capitalize off of your opportunity in whatever business you're doing in the wedding space. So check back with me tomorrow. We'll have tip number 2. Also, don't forget to go by WeddingBusinessGrowth.com for more tips like this as we help you guys grow your wedding business. All right, so mine was a little bit more salesman-y though, right? It took me like a million takes to do it because I was trying to do it all in one take and not mess it up at all, right?
Can we talk about how awesome that shirt is?
Yeah.
Oh, the one in the video?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's my Wu-Tang Cream Team shirt, man. You know how I roll. I'm all about the Wu-Tang, right? I don't know. So, again, mine was a little bit more salesman-y, but here's the thing. This is interesting. Probably I'm going to redo that one because if I'm really going to put it out there on social media, honestly, I'd probably rather dress a little bit differently just because I feel like it would be a little bit more professional to dress if nothing else, at least not wear my hat, right? You know what I mean? But what point I am making is that I've been really trying to come up with a way to do consistent videos, quick videos. My whole thing with that video was to try to hit it right at 60 seconds. And I think it was like 57 or 58 seconds long, right? And I really wanted to think, okay, how can I come up with some content that would allow me to be able to keep the consistency going with this thing and keep this thing rolling. And so I said, okay, well, I did a presentation on my at a conference. I did a presentation. It was right at when my business hit 20 years. So I decided to do a presentation on 20 things I've learned over 20 years in business, right? Well, that's a great little thing you can use it for other ways. So now I can essentially do exactly what I said in that video, which is create a 20-day series where each day I give one tip. I talk a little bit about that tip, but I also hopefully create the ability for people to keep coming back to pay attention to what the next one was. Create that momentum, create that organic people wanting to see what you have to say next. So yeah, maybe it will.
I thought it was good. I thought you flowed really nicely too, man. I mean, you always do. So
thank you. I tried to, man. I'd probably be a crappy DJ and MC if I didn't, though, right? so hopefully that never goes away. Hey guys, once again, if you're watching right now, please comment, man. Let us know what you guys are thinking about the show tonight. Let us know what you'd like to hear us talk about. If you have questions about anything we're talking about, if you're watching right now, drop those in the comments. We'll be looking for those. We're monitoring the comments as we go through tonight's live. And you can do it anonymously if you want to. You don't even have to leave your name. If you'd rather do it anonymously, you're welcome to do that. But we'd love to hear from you guys and questions you guys might have. All right, so here we go. Moving on to Nick's video. Now, me and Michelle, we did all right. But then this guy decides, okay, I'm gonna show
my video is so basic. I don't even you guys actually talked about yourselves and mine's so basic.
Yeah, but yours is pretty darn creative, right? Okay, so here we go. This is Nick's video from our video challenge. Here we go.
What's going on, everyone? It's Nick from Wedding Business Growth. So last week we were challenged to make a little video about ourselves. So here's mine. You can see I'm at my desk here doing some work, but just a few things about me. I started Mass Visuals 1 year ago. We're a video production company specializing in wedding videos primarily. We also do some real estate and commercial work. I also do some DJing on the side for David and Y Entertainment. Great time. Love hanging out with everyone there. And it's just a little bit about me. So yeah, that's it. Challenge you guys to make a video.
Okay, we got to clap it up for Nick, right? We got to clap it up for Nick. Nicely done, man.
My editing skills make up for my lack of ability to talk.
I hope we don't get kicked off of Facebook for playing that much.
True.
Too, right?
We'll find out.
We do. It is what it is, right? No, man, that was cool. That's just another example of once you get comfortable, let that creativity come in. I love the little words and the little memes, the cutting away to, like when you said, you DJ with our company sometimes and you had some footage of that. And just the humor of it, man. People love to laugh. People love to, just have a smile on their face and just kind of laugh and have a good time. We got enough going on in life right now to not be able to, right?
So true, yeah.
Michelle, what'd you think about Nick's video?
I loved the background music.
Hey.
And at the end, you're like, I don't own a Lexus.
I thought that was funny.
I like the little edits for sure. It definitely keeps you entertained with it. So
appreciate it, guys.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. To be honest with you, the one thing that Michelle mentioned about I don't own a Lexus, that little caveat there, that was the one thing that stuck out in my head too about the video.
Oh, really?
When I first watch it, right? So I pay attention to all of it, and all of it I can almost think about, but I remember that popping up. I don't own a Lexus. That was so funny. It was so funny. It was right timely too. You know what I mean? So I think it was perfect. So cool. All right, guys. Well, hey, if you're just jumping on, joining us, first of all, welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. We hope you guys are having a great night out there. We were just been talking about recapping last week's show and talking about the video challenge that we did, and we showcased all three of our videos. So if you didn't see those videos, you'll be able to go back and see those in the replay and get a kick out of those videos. Hey, one more time, I gotta clap for all of us, man. I think we did a good job. We took on the challenge, and we didn't although let's be honest, how many people did theirs today?
No shame.
No shame. Zero shame.
Okay, one more question. How many people did them after I sent the text message that said, don't forget to have your video today?
No, straight up, I had mine done.
I didn't have mine done. I didn't. Dreading it.
All right.
That's fine.
Hey, that's cool. No big deal, right? But I bring all that up to just put a button on all of this, which is one of the other things we talked about last week, which is time management. It's easy to sometimes it's maybe a good idea to have deadlines on yourself, right? So we knew that we had to have these videos for today. None of the three of us wanted to be the only one who didn't have their video, right? So we wanted to make sure that hang on one second. So somebody just said, love how each of your videos is so unique and showcases each of your personalities. Thank you so much for that.
Appreciate
That's perfect. It's a perfect example, right? But what I was saying is sometimes it's really good to go ahead and set a deadline for yourself, set a hard deadline for yourself when you have things like this you want to do, because these kind of things are things that you don't have to do. This is just icing on the cake. I would challenge that you should feel like you have to do them. But at the end of the day, you don't have to do these things. So sometimes I think it's a good idea to set those deadlines. You guys want to add anything to that?
Time management's important. I saw you sent me something this morning, or I was like, oh, it's Wednesday. And like immediately out of bed, I was like, oh my God, I got to make this video. So yeah, time management's important.
Well, I thought it was a lot of fun.
It was fun. No, definitely so.
Definitely was. Well, maybe so here's what we'll do. Maybe in about 6 weeks we'll do it again, and we'll see how different we can come up with our videos. We'll come
maybe challenge the viewers to send us videos.
That's a good idea too.
I like that too. Yeah.
Someone else on the spot.
That's a great idea. All right, so let's do that. Let's see if our followers and our listeners will be willing to do videos and send them to us so we can have fun with their videos too. That's a great idea. Michelle, I knew there was a reason why we wanted you to come on here with us. You got all the good ideas. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and bring our guest on to join us. Before I do that, just one more time, if you're watching, please feel free to drop a comment, drop a question in the comments. If you have a question for us, please be sure to do that, guys. We definitely want to make sure that we're answering your questions and that we are taking good care of you guys. That's what these things are all about, is really just helping you and helping your business. And so we can sit up here and talk all night long, and we'll definitely do that. But we would much rather talk about the things that you want to hear. We know people are watching. We can see that people are watching. So we want to be able to address you specifically. And when it's a smaller audience like it is right now, hey, we're fully transparent. This is brand new for us. We haven't built up hundreds and thousands of people watching yet, and hopefully we will one day. But right now, we do have a smaller audience, and so that allows us to really address those questions to specifically the people that are watching. So don't be shy. Don't be sitting there being the person that says, hey, I don't want to ask a bunch of questions. Trust me. I think would you agree with me that we want to take your questions? We want to answer your questions, because the rest of it is just us talking all the time. So, all right, so here we go. So I'm going to bring in our guests right now and introduce them. These are some good friends of mine, Erin and Big Ern, as he likes to be called. And we're going to welcome them into the audience. I'm going to unmute y'all's mic for you there. Or you guys might have to actually unmute your mic on your end for us. So
what's going on?
Thank you guys for joining us. So we're excited to have you guys on the show today.
Thanks so much for having us. We've been really looking forward to it, and we're happy to get to be here and hopefully bring some encouragement and good, thought-provoking conversation to the crew.
Absolutely. Hello from Washington.
From Washington State, by the way, not Washington, D.C., Washington State.
Correct.
Yes. So let me share first I'm just going to share a quick story of how I met Erin and Ernie. We both attended a conference that was last year. We attended a conference in Arizona, and I was flying into Arizona, and I was like, okay, how am I going to get from the airport to the hotel? And we had this Facebook group. We're all talking to each other. And I'm like, I could take an Uber. I could do this. I could do that. Well, next thing you know, I see in the comments that Ernie says, hey, we're driving down from Washington. We're driving down. So if anybody needs a lift from the airport, this is when we're getting there. We're happy to help. Now, mind you, I had not known them, prior to this. So I immediately sent Ernie a comment. Hey, Ernie, I'm flying in at this certain time, blah, blah, blah. Is anybody else being picked up at this time frame? I don't want to put you out to come get me by if it's just me. So if there's other people, then I'd love to catch a ride with you. Ernie, being the absolutely nice guy he is like, hey, man, doesn't matter to me if it's just you. Trust me, you got a ride. I'll get you to the hotel. Again, this is somebody I had never met before that day, which speaks volumes for the kind of people that they are already. So we kept in touch with each other. I got there, we texted each other. It's almost perfect timing, I think. He circled around maybe once or twice. Boom, got there, jumped in the truck. 2 or 3 other guys jumped in the truck with us. And, I tried to give this guy gas money. He wouldn't take it. He would not take it. So I ended up having to buy him some drinks. So I bought him some drinks because I didn't want him to I wanted to return a favor, essentially. So once again, Ernie, publicly, thank you, man. Thank you for taking care of me when you didn't even know who I was. And that really meant a lot to me.
Hey, no problem at all. That's what we do. When it comes to even the business, it's the same thing. You're going to go above and beyond, and knowing what we were doing down there for that collective, it was really cool to meet a lot of like-minded people. We realized that the investment that we put in to go down there and do that, it takes a lot. So I knew right away that I was going to be amongst a lot of people that had the same passion and drive as us. And like that day, remember that rain day that we had when we lost all the power in the entire grid? It wasn't just in the hotel, the venue, but it was the entire grid. And then there was a mad dash to try to find a generator, last minute and stuff. Well, since we drove down there, we had our RV, we just busted out our generator and fired that up and got it going, until it took them like 4 hours later till the power came back on.
Yeah, that was definitely a challenging time. We had 100, I mean, all everybody working, and all of us are there, probably 120 of us, 125 of us there, and all of these, we had planned presentations and seminars and things like that, and no power to do them. There's no lights, no power, no nothing, and it was definitely a challenge. But yeah, you guys came through clutch in that as well. So that was really just kind of the good timing. You guys maybe knew in the back of your mind that might come into play before you knew it, right?
Always be prepared for everything. You double up on everything, on gear and stuff. When you do an event,
when you travel, you double up on things too.
That's true.
That's too funny.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And it started when you got in the car with a stranger. I mean, you're pretty trusting, David.
Yeah. I've been told I'm pretty trusting. I guess I kind of live by the old adage. You're gonna die when it's your time. So if Ernie would have turned out to be completely the opposite of what he was, then we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. But I'm glad he wasn't. I'm glad he wasn't. And it's really been an honor to get to know you guys and kind of watch you guys in your business and what you've been doing during this, let's be honest, a very challenging time for everybody. And that's a big topic about what we're going to be talking about tonight. Before we go into that, I want you, if you both would, just maybe kind of catch us all up to date a little bit about your background in the event and wedding industry. And Erin also is in the fitness industry, so I'd love for her maybe share a little bit about that with us as well, because being a all around best business owner you can be, your health and fitness is important too. So Erin, if you'll touch on that a little bit as well, whenever you have a moment as well.
Sounds good. Go ahead, Ernie.
All right. My story, I think, is pretty simple and easy. I've come from 20 years of DJing as well, just like David. But majority of it when I went full-time was probably about 9 years ago. 9 years ago, I went full-time DJing. I left retail, customer service. I was very customer service driven, still am today. Going from a full-time cush job, where you have your benefits and all that and everything, and leaving that and then going into full-time DJing, that was definitely my passion and my heart, and I love it. Absolutely love doing it. Just taking care of the clients. And then about 8 years ago, that's when I met Erin, and her singing. So we used to run karaoke and everything back in the day, and Erin used to go to the shows, and that's how we met. So I'll turn it over to Erin.
It's very true. So as Ernie said, I met him as I was an attendee at one of his karaoke shows. I will say I walked in super skeptical because he was the new host at this venue. I'm like, all right, we'll see what this new host has got, if he's any good. And well, he definitely was, because here we are years later. But what really drew me to Ernie and at first just as a friend, and then going into business together, and now just getting to do life together also, was his heart for other people. And that was something that in recent months, as we've definitely faced a variety of challenges that we never expected to face. that's something that I've been so impressed with and proud of is throughout all of it, Ernie was like, how can we help other people? How can we bring a positive experience? And, you know, at first we were both dumbfounded, like, what do you mean we can't go and do events, you know? But then we just kind of processed our emotions and dealt with our own internal what was going on, and then started to get creative on ways we can help and bring that positive force to folks in our area, and even beyond. We're super travel lovers, as you might have guessed, with David, with your story of us driving down to Arizona from Washington State here. We love being on the road, love traveling, and part of what we really love about DJing is that we get to be in a different space every event, essentially. It's like, you know, your office gets to change every day you go to work. How cool is that? So with the traveling and everything, it was kind of an interesting shift and blend. I had been working at a clinic locally here, working in a physical therapy realm, as well as in a personal trainer capacity. My schooling and certification is actually in exercise science. So I'm an exercise physiologist, which, for those of you who may not know, is basically a clinical version of a personal trainer. So I'm qualified to work with folks who have like more complications and injuries, or they're, you know, kind of within their recovery process. So then the question became, well, shoot, how am I supposed to do that when I can't be face to face with people? And thank goodness for the internet. I can't even imagine, like, we couldn't be doing this today if it wasn't for the beautiful World Wide Web. But it's been really great and has enabled me to help folks who are in pain to get out of their pain, and then also just to help spread knowledge and awareness about, you know, things people can do to empower themselves to, you know, really take that good care of their bodies on their own. Yes, David, drop your comments, drop your questions. We want to know what we can help with.
So yeah, it definitely took, like this whole discussion is getting creative. So we had to fall back on some of our talents, you know, our skills that we had prior to DJing as well. You know, I used to be a photographer. I used to do video editing. I used to do marketing. Erin, you know, she really fell back hard on her prior skills for physical therapy, which has been wonderful. I just kind of, we just kind of melded our talents together. So I helped out with doing the video clips for her, how she would do a program for people to, like, okay, I need to do this physical skill and send it to this client. So yeah, we set up a makeshift studio inside our RV on the road, and it worked perfect. It worked out wonderful. It was simple. It was easy, and but there's so many things that we've done during this time to really make a really successful journey out of this so far. And ask away. Yes, absolutely, ask away.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that you guys, you know, that you guys were able to do that in the RV, and Erin was able to continue to keep, you know, offering her, you know, her clients a service that allows you essentially to be able to do the things you like to do, which is travel and still be able to be there for your clients. So I think that's pretty cool that you were able to do that. What were some challenges that you still maybe found yourself running into, if there were any, in the process of that?
Finding good internet. Yeah. That's huge. So we've done the research while we're on the road. So a lot of it depends when we're traveling, where we end up, the power situation, as far as how much we can have running in our RV, because we don't want to blow anything, obviously. You know, if you're running a 10 amps, 30 amps, 60 amps, if you have an RV, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, I'll give you a course on that. But Internet was also another big thing. I mean, there were sometimes we had to sacrifice amazing views that we could park our RV at. Trust me, we were like, oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. And then we look at our phones, we're like,
No service.
no service. That's not going to work. So we found ourselves, reaching out to RV parks, how good's your internet, stuff like that. Some places we scored big time. Like we were coming down from Washington to Arizona. We stopped at Moab, literally in Moab, Utah, right downtown. There's an RV park. Had no idea. And you're like, well, an RV park in town, that can't be that great. No, we had like red rock around us everywhere. It was beautiful.
Wow.
$30 a night, full hookup. So we had water, power, internet, the whole shebang for $30 a night. You try to rent a hotel there or even a motel in Moab, that's $200 a night. It was ridiculous. Yeah, we could fit our RV. We could literally drive around. We went up to the arches, the whole thing, and as long as we did the research to find all those needs for us. So yeah, power, internet, stuff like that to do, and we were totally fine. It's amazing to be able to wake up, do your due diligence of work, your income, and then 3/4 of the rest of the day go out and enjoy it. Absolutely, and so that we've already had that taste, 2 months straight. We did that on the road, and we want to get back so bad. We want to get out there so bad. But yeah, but we want it, and we're going to make it happen. And that's the thing about us, is that our drive is huge. So I mean, people want that fire, but you really got to want it. And if you want it that bad, you'll make it happen. Absolutely.
Yeah. And a lot of it, like you said, David, earlier, it does come down to how you manage your time. And there definitely were days where we were like, let's sleep in, whatever. We didn't manage our time that great. And so what happened is the time we should have been able to spend playing, we couldn't, because we were having to work. So that was a good lesson. Honestly, as far as other challenges, we've definitely learned a lot on the tech side of things. Probably me more so, because Ernie already had a lot of that knowledge. But there's also been new computer systems, new programs that we're using that we hadn't used before. But really, like I said, I'm thankful for internet coaching option, and that I can connect with clients via video chat, or even provide phone support so that folks can still get the help that they need while they're at home. And then what's kind of keeping us busy lately is doing movie nights. So those outdoor movie nights, David, I know that we had chatted about in the past.
Yeah. Okay. So set us up how this works, because I think this is a ingenious idea. This is essentially taking something that probably maybe hasn't been used in a while and saying, how can I utilize this? And I think that now we're diving right into the whole purpose of what I really wanted to see us talk about tonight, which is how, all of us here, we've got essentially 3 DJs, a wedding planner, and a fitness instructor, all on here, or in a videographer. Sorry, I called Nick a DJ, but
partially
true. Videographer first, DJ second. Right? So at the end of the day, all of us do weddings, and up until kind of recently, none of us have been really being able to do weddings, and so
March is not recent. I'm sorry. That's a while ago.
Yeah. So I think it's really cool when I started seeing kind of y'all's stuff popping up on Facebook that you were doing, and how that was all kind of taking place. So take us through how if you remember the first thought that you were like, hey, what if we did this, and then kind of bring us to current times with that.
All right. Yes. So Movies Under the Stars, how it all started was, literally everything when it went on a standstill, we're like, okay, let's clean gear. Let's, do inventory. Let's, beautify our website, do what we need to do. But then when it came down to it, when we like entertainment just as much as anybody else does. At the end of April, it was just a beautiful night. Typically it's cold, but it wasn't cold at all that night. And since we were going through the inventory, what we had, I remembered, well, we have a projection screen. I was like, let's just have a fun date night tonight. I went out, set up the screen out in the yard, you know, in the driveway, put up a projector and everything, did like a little mini concession stand. So we had like a mini popcorn machine, had candy, and I was like, and drinks and everything there. So I told Erin, I was like, here we go. Let's hop in the rig and pretend like it's a drive-in. Just having fun, you know, just being cute. And while we're doing that, we noticed that the neighbors across the way were watching. We didn't get mad, you know, we're like, oh, wow, cool. You know, it's drawing attention.
They're little kids.
They're little kids, you know, they're having fun. And then right when I said that in my mind, I'm like, we might be onto something, you know, why not? So we put together like a package, kind of thought it through, you know, we did a lot of the brainstorming and stuff, and then shot the idea out to a couple friends. But we were select on the friends, you know, we kind of like mentioned it to key social network friends, you know, those groups that are really good about being on social media and stuff. I'm like, hey, do you mind if we do this, test this out, see what you think? And they're like, oh, we love the idea. Come on over. So we had the plan of like, we're going to come to your yard. We're going to set up a screen. We're going to set up a little popcorn station for you, set up a superior sound system. So you got a high-end screen, high-end projector, high-end sound system. So it's going to take somebody at least $5,000 just to put together what we did for them, since we have all the equipment already.
Just in equipment, yeah.
Right. So it's not something that you can go to Target and buy, you know, absolutely not. You know, it's not a sheet that you hang over the fence or anything. This is like a legit full-on movie cinema setup. You know, it's with the name Big Erin, what am I going to do? Half-ass everything? No.
Right.
No. We're going to go over the top for you, you know? When we say popcorn, we're not going to bring in like bags of pre-made popcorn. We're going to pop it right there for you, you know, fresh. Gloves, mask, oil popped and everything, like what you expect from the movie cinema. Mm-hmm. So when we did that first night, it literally blew up. I mean, they put on the social media as far as pictures on Instagram, on Facebook, and they're like, who did that? Who did that? You know, how do we get a hold of them? And it hasn't stopped since. So in the last 2 months that we've been doing it, I think we've had maybe 40 nights of it running straight of that. And what we've done is we've always included something bigger and better. Huge shout out to Gabriel and Mike, those guys from LA. They were asking us questions and then they gave us ideas. So now we offer what's called the celebrity package, because we have, you know, the essential package, which is the movies and the popcorn. But then now we offer a celebrity package where we offer a photo booth. Mm-hmm. So you can have a touchless photo booth, and all of a sudden now we get hit up for birthday parties. Like I've got a kid who's turning 10 years old. Mm-hmm. I've got a sweet 16 birthday party. This will be perfect for it. And so it's just another add-ons. It's all those services included. Now, people, this is the big question. Like, Erin, how do you get away with the licensing? The licensing issue when it comes to showing movies at people's homes. Number one, they're renting your equipment. You do not provide the movie at all. Zero. They bring their own movie. They rent their own movie. They show it at their own home.
They plug in their own streaming device,
right? And
use their own internet or whatever the case is.
Or gaming system. We have gamer nights now. Oh my goodness. 10-year-old kids go nuts over this.
You see my eyes light up?
Video guys, they're playing football. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, there's Madden going on. Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, you're talking being able to play on a $5,000 setup, screen, sound system, projector, and at night, underneath beautiful weather, you paint the picture, you sell the sizzle. You don't sell the product, it's all about the sizzle, and that's what we do. We just, when you care about it, when I'm excited about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I'm like, digging this so hard. And you show that passion to everybody, then they get it too. Like last night, we did one last night. We had to postpone it because of the wind. We had some terrible wind here the other night.
Like a random thunderstorm.
Right, and the story that this mother had told us about. Gosh. So her 10-year-old son had just lost his father on Father's Day, and she was really worried, that this was going to devastate her son so much because of what happened with what we're in right now, the loss of his father and stuff. So she really wanted this birthday to happen. We were crossing our fingers, like, look, we're going to make this happen one way or another. We may have to postpone it because the equipment just won't survive, and everybody's going to be miserable. So last night was the night that we were supposed to do it. And when her son, Jax, 10 years old, says, "Mom, this is the best birthday I've ever had in my life," she started crying. Erin started crying. I'm like,
it was so sweet.
I'm like, I'm going to go load gear right now.
So I can cry in private.
So I can cry in private. But those things are what really makes us love what we do, is just bringing happiness, joy, whatever kind of relief, just even if it's only for a couple hours. People they're like, for a couple hours I forgot what was going on. There was peace, there was happiness. It was her and her kids happy. Right. And the photo booth, they ate up and everything as well. The popcorn, they're like, the popcorn just tasted great. They love having their blankets and their pillows out there and just laughing, and it was so cool. Yeah. Sorry.
Awesome.
I think it's a cool idea to be
excited about this.
Just a little excited.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really cool idea to be able to, in a small way, like you said, be able to, you're not promoting the idea of, hey, get everybody in the neighborhood to come over and now we're kind of going away from what we've been told to do and stuff like that. So you've been able to find a way to do it in a situation that is clearly affordable for people, but it's really over the top. And you already answered. I was going to ask you about the the video thing, but like I said, I'm sure you probably get asked that all the time, and that makes complete sense. As long as they're providing that, you're in good shape with that. Nick, what are your thoughts on that, man? I mean, I think it's super cool, right?
I just love the ingenuity of it. Like, you guys did something that was just fun for yourselves, right? And then you had an idea and something that you enjoyed. How can I share this with other people? So, and that's such an important part of business. It has to come from your heart first, because then I feel like you're just doing everything for the wrong reasons. But
Right.
the stories you were saying or telling were just like incredible. Like the story of the kid's birthday was just, I mean, I feel that, that's absolutely incredible. And things like the video games. I mean, I game every once in a while. Like the Madden stuff is so fun. Like I could just imagine that, like, oh man, that would be incredible. So just so happy. That's absolutely incredible that you guys took that and were able to do what you did with it. So, I mean, that's the essence of pivoting in these times. So
Right.
Awesome.
Hey, Michelle, are you a gamer? I can't remember if you like to play games or not. Are you a gamer?
I have had my fair share of Madden.
Yeah.
Back in the days, I was on, PS2 and Nintendo 64, but
I like it.
yeah.
I like it. Hey guys, if you're watching us right now, we are talking with some good friends, Erin and Big Ern out of Washington State, just talking a little bit tonight about, in these times where we're not really able to do what we'd like to do. It has been nice. I will say it has been nice to see through social media that some people are being able to get back out there and do events to some extent. Although you never know, that might get dialed back again, because it seems like all of a sudden we're being told that maybe we're doing this too quickly. So who knows? I don't know what's going to happen. But we're just talking about some things that Erin and Ernie were doing, especially during the time frame where nothing else was going on, and finding something that was essentially sitting in a warehouse or garage or however you guys store your things. We all have that. We all probably have some sort of inventory that we haven't, we bought it for that one time when we did that one party, and then probably never used it again. And they were able to, utilize something like that to generate some revenue and some income to come in during these harder times. And that's kind of what we're talking about, is just some ideas that we can, we can kick around for not just DJs. I mean, videographers, photographers, wedding planners, like utilizing your services and talents in other ways. I know, Nick, you've been doing that. I wanted to, kind of have you share a little bit about what you've been doing with your, photography and videography services while you haven't been able to do weddings.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's been tough not doing weddings. I really miss them, but I've had the opportunity to pivot in myself in doing real estate photography and videography, which I'm extremely grateful for during these times, because otherwise I would not be doing anything. So I kind of got into the real estate videography before this all happened, but it really started to surge recently in the last few weeks. I don't know what it is. I think maybe not being able to see houses, or there has been a palpable demand for video and photo work during these times. And I've had several real estate agents just reach out to me and say, "Hey, do you do videography and photography work?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." So I've had the opportunity to do some agent profile videos for some realtors locally. I've done tons of houses for other realtors, so going and actually photographing houses, which I'd never have done before this. I've never photographed a house for real estate, so I guess that's kind of the way I've pivoted. And also live streaming. I've noticed that there's also been a demand for live streaming. I'm actually doing some live streaming events for some people, later in the year, just because of everything that's going on. So I've been not as creative as Ernie and Erin, but definitely just being able to use some of the skills and tools that I already have, and luckily move into something that is needed as of right now. So yeah, that's what I would say for myself.
Very good. Michelle, what about you? I'm curious, you guys have probably, I mean, I guess to some extent, you guys probably have still been, chatting with couples and having to do rescheduling and things like that. But is there anything kind of in, the wedding planning world and event planning world that maybe you guys have found as a shift to kind of, keep the lights on and keep things rolling?
Not much has really changed on our end. Obviously, the rescheduling and postponement. I think the biggest shift I've had to do is get in front of a camera live for Zoom conferences and stuff, just because we're still planning behind the scenes. I mean, all of our brides that have weddings coming up or have had to postpone and reschedule, like we're still doing all that planning in their files and everything. So for us, like I said, I think the biggest pivot I had to take on was not being able to meet in person, and kind of being a little bit more hands-on with the video conferences and the phones and virtual tours at venues. FaceTime tours have become bigger for us. So not much has changed, and there's really not much more we can do. I mean, if we can't hold events, I have nothing to really plan. So not too much of a pivot over here on the planning side. We've kind of taken this time to, work on our behind the scenes social media, website, and that kind of aspect. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, I think those are all things that are definitely important to be doing. It's tough, and we might not have enough time to talk about it tonight. This could be a whole conversation of its own. But the longer this goes on, and depending on how much you watch the news and the media and stuff like that, it can really start to take a real mental toll on you, and it can really start to put you in a place that you don't want to be. So I think it's important. And Erin, I'm going to come to you about this in just a minute, a little bit from the health side of things. It's important to make sure that you continue to focus on the positives and the good things about your business and the good things about what you're still capable of doing, whether it's like Ernie said, kind of putting a nice polish on the website, maybe even doing a full rebrand of your website. Why not? You got nothing else to do. So, why not look and see if that's something that you want to look at, but just kind of keeping yourself entrenched in your business. And I don't think there's anything wrong with, I guess the kids say being woke, but I don't think there's anything wrong with they don't say that?
It didn't sound cool.
Not this kid.
Okay. I don't know. I heard it once or twice when I was watching the news, so I thought maybe.
Now that you guys are doing the video thing, are you guys going to jump on TikTok?
We might. I think we could make some really dumb TikTok videos. That's for sure.
We'll be sitting that one out.
But the point is, I don't think there's anything wrong with being aware of what's going on, because man, we are in times that we've never been in any of our lifetime, really. I mean, none of us have ever been in anything like we're experiencing right now in our lifetime. And from, you know, the pandemic standpoint, from the government standpoint, from the, you know, the uprise and everything that's going on with the police and these monuments coming down and all these things that you're just like, sometimes it's like you just wake up and you're like, am I living in like some weird world right now? I saw something today about meth alligators. Did you guys see that stuff, or meth crocodiles? Like, what in the world?
I was like, I'm not even diving into that. I'm just kidding.
I'm like, what is going on? But anyway, so to you, Erin, just a little bit maybe, and I hope I'm not putting you on the spot here, but just maybe talk a little bit about some things that people could maybe do simple and easy to maybe reset their mind when they find themselves getting to that point where they're like, okay, I could really see this thing going downhill mentally really quick.
Definitely. Well, you've hit a lot of nails right on the head there, David. As far as when you are in crazy times like we are right now, there's a few things that are really important. One is to give yourself grace. Don't feel like you have to have it together all the time, or always be pushing forward in your business, or always be feeling happy. It's okay to feel your feels, and that's how we process them. If you only just bottle up all the uncomfortable or like negative feelings, then you're robbing yourself of the opportunity to process them and work through them in a healthy way that will then allow you to move on and truly be present and enjoy all the beautiful things that are still here in your life. Something that I found really helpful for my own self, and also for my clients and just folks that I know, my friends, is being intentionally grateful. There's a lot of things that definitely could and would drag us down. And during this time, it's so helpful for us to step a little out of our way to be grateful. So whether that for you, whether that looks like taking a quiet few minutes during your day and just thinking through like things that you're grateful for, things that you're happy about. A lot of us do well with writing it down. That's me. I'm a very visual person, so I like to have things written down. I'm friends with my whiteboard. We hang out a lot. It's right here on my desk. But so writing down things that you're grateful for, and then, you know, even if you put that, I like to put it the list in a spot where I'm going to see it during the day, and then every time I walk by and see that list, I'm like, right. It's just a nice reset. The other thing, which we've all struggled with, I know, is to find a way to get outside and breathe fresh air. That vitamin D will do you good, I promise. And our bodies were made to move. So, you know, whether it's you want to call and connect with a friend, so you do a phone call and like walk around your block, or, you know, a nearby park, or whatever your living area and situation is, just to get moving. And I can definitely tell you for myself that days when I don't move, I'm the grouchiest, aren't I? Like, I'm not very fun to be around if I haven't moved. Today I got to go and do some laps around a park with a friend of mine. And, you know, of course, masks everywhere and whatnot, but we got to be outside. I took the dog, and it was awesome. And, you know, so connecting with nature and connecting with other people. Us humans, we're herd animals. We are not meant to live solitary lives, and it can be super taxing on us. I'm just going to say it is taxing on us. Even those of us with strong introvert tendencies, which Ernie and I both have to some extent, we just miss people. And, you know, whether connecting with someone is like a Zoom coffee date, or like you're gonna, you know, kick back and drink a glass of wine with someone, or whatever, you give them a call. I think connection is so important for our mental health. obviously I could go on about, the benefits of exercise, physical activity, the influence of your diet on how you're feeling. A big one is hydration. Lots of us, if we're not moving around much, we don't remember to put water in our face. And if we're not hydrating, guys, your body's made of water. You've just got to give it the nourishment and those sips of water that you need. Anyone who's got questions, I welcome them. I love answering questions, and I can nerd out on this stuff for hours. So feel free. You can always leave a comment here or message me, and we can chat more about it.
I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Nick.
Erin is definitely woke. No, great points though. I mean, seriously, like that, all the stuff you mentioned was phenomenal. And I find myself with, grace and daily affirmations and writing what you're grateful for. Like those are seriously things that I do that really do change my mind, for in a positive way. So no, I mean, great points. Seriously. So
Thanks.
Ernie, is that that water bottle I see next to you over there? That looks like a nice, interesting shaped water bottle there. Look at that big Earn water bullet. Look at that.
That is his latest thermos bottle.
That is awesome.
Yeah, this is a nice gift from her friend. She actually got us the 32-ounce bottle and a 17-ounce bottle as well. Yes. But yeah, hydrate. Erin even started growing vegetables as well. Her tomato plant is literally taking over the backyard.
It's stupid big, you guys. I'll take a picture later.
I'm just imagining a giant climbing down it, one day and everything. It's going to be ridiculous. The tomatoes are going to be monstrosities. But it's really nice to see her do that, though. I mean, she goes outside. She's getting that fresh air. There is a piece to it. There is, for the soul, this stuff today can really, really bring you down fast if you don't have something in place. Those idle hands, stay busy, stay happy. If you need to talk to people, talk to people. If you need to talk, if you can't find somebody, call us. We'll talk. We're right down the road. It's all right.
It's okay. It's okay to reach out for help.
Yeah.
Like, we all need help at one point or another. And I think it's such an interesting, social and cultural thing where we're made to feel bad when we ask for help. It's like, what do you mean? You can't handle it on your own? What do you mean? You don't have it on lock? No, we're people. We're not perfect. We don't have all the answers.
Trust me, as happy as we, see them, we can put ourselves on social media and everything.
We have our moments too.
Believe it or not, we have people that are really upset at us because we're able to keep our business open and running.
Yeah.
There are people that are like, how is that fair that you guys get to do that with your business when I have to keep my business closed? I was like, well, for one, we had to close our business. For two, we just assimilated. Guidelines were put in place in order to run your business. You had to make sure you had your PPE. You had to make sure that if you're offering a service, there's social distancing. Mm-hmm. Exactly what we do. Our service, we literally set everything up in the yard. Family comes out, watches the movie. When it's done, they go back inside. We tear down and leave. There's no physical contact. So, I mean, these other businesses, they require physical contact in order for them to work. But for somebody just to get upset at us because we're able to pivot, I know some people don't like the word. I love the word because it works for us. Absolute pivot all day long. If you get paid to pivot, you're going to pivot.
Right.
Absolutely.
We need to make that a new hashtag, paid to pivot.
Yeah. We're paid to pivot.
I like it.
And Erin doing the same thing with, with her physical therapy. Absolutely. Or physical fitness. That's a pivot that we had to do, and it works. And just like I said, we have our struggle days. I could go on and battle about it and everything, but I'm, it's just one of those things. I got to let go because at the end of the day, those don't pay the bills. Those don't keep us afloat.
Right.
It's the people that we care about that keeps us going.
And
so we had somebody comment. Mindy Elliott. I don't know if Mindy just wanted to give a shout out or
that was me tagging the gal who made the water bottles for him.
Oh, nice, perfect. Okay, that makes sense now. Okay,
Her
so
company is EE Designs out of Washington State. You can put in orders.
She ships.
She ships. She can custom make anything out, like our hats and stuff, our hats with the logos. She designed all those as well. So they got the leather patches, any color, keychains, water bottles,
flasks.
Flasks. Oh my gosh, the flask.
We'll bring it to DJC.
She got me a 64-ounce flask.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah. So when we go golfing, yeah.
Hey, so this guy right here is coming to DJC with me this year. So you guys will get to meet him.
We'll bring that along.
Awesome.
Yeah,
we'll see you there, Nick.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time there. Well, man, I just want to thank you guys for being on with us today. I think, man, you guys hit a lot. To borrow your saying from earlier, Erin, you guys hit a lot of nails on the head, and I think that you guys are doing a phenomenal job at showing how you can still stay busy, you can still stay active, you can still find a way to generate some income with for yourself. And so sorry, somebody just messaged me.
It's all right.
They are not. What are your? So I have somebody that's asking me a question here. Maybe so I'm going to check on this and see before we go. I'm going to see if we can answer any questions for them. But you guys just really definitely hit a lot of very important points, I think, and it's super helpful to have that. I mean, mentally, I took some notes myself. I mean, I am not afraid or ashamed to admit that I'm a very introverted person myself, and believe it or not, in what we do, you would think that I wasn't, but I really am. And I have found myself going through a lot of interesting, mental challenges and mental, almost like, I don't mind saying almost like small mental breakdowns. And so I've been really trying to be aware of those things and immediately steer myself away. I went back to the gym. Funny quick story. I probably told this on one of our other calls before, but I joined Orange Theory and I went to my test class. And then the very next day they called everybody and said, we're shutting the gym down. So I was like, oh, great. Go figure. But now a couple weeks later, and we're, a couple weeks in now, and, they were able to open back up. So I've been able to go back and, I was able to go back, and that's been very therapeutic for me. Just going to the gym, taking my mind off of everything, put my phone away. Nick will tell you, he's around me a lot. He knows I almost never put my phone down. Like I've constantly got something going on my phone, right? But I put my phone down, I put everything away, and I just focus on myself and my health for that hour time frame. And it's made a big difference. It's made a big challenge. I do have a question here real quick from my buddy, Dan Clavel, man. I'm sorry, Dan, that your stuff wasn't showing up on the comments for some reason. I don't know why it wasn't. But Dan has a question for you, Big Ern and Erin. So give me just a second to pull this up, and I want to make sure we get this question answered for Dan before we shut down for the night. So Dan is asking, what does Big Ern use for a website company, as they are pretty close to me and I would love to get in contact with them? Okay, so I think Dan is kind of, do you guys know Dan Clavel?
I don't think we've met, but
So I met, similar to you guys, I met him and his wife at another conference that I was at. And they were kind of new in the business when I met them, and they've done some amazing stuff just in the short period of time between when I met them and now to present time. So anyways, so Dan was asking about website stuff, and you guys have any advice on him locally?
Awesome, yeah. So our website is built through Squarespace, and if you'd like, I can get you contact info for the gal who actually helped design it. So her name's Kaylee Weiss. It's Wiese. And she's the owner of Meldeen Inc., Meldeen. We met her actually last year at DJC, the convention where we met David. And she was one of the presenters, but we just really connected with her, and The website we had before was one that I had created myself, having no website knowledge and no design training. So it was functional but not beautiful, and we were definitely ready for an upgrade. So she took us from a free Weebly site to a nice paid, beautiful Squarespace site.
It turned out gorgeous. So a big shout out to Kaylee on that.
Yes.
But it's exactly what our brand, what we wanted to do. We went away from like, the club, real simple, website. We're like, hey, well, we got a website. Well, now it's directed more towards elegant, professional, clean. You look at it, you're like, wow, this is sharp. So it screams weddings. It's what it does. So check it out. It's bigerinproductions.com. I mean, first thing that pops up right away, it looks, sorry, in my eyes,
it looks a lot
beautiful.
It does. It does. It looks great. I've definitely seen it.
Yeah.
So
I'm not an expert copywriter, so don't judge me on the copy. But if anyone has any input, I'm all ears.
There's your copywriter right there.
All right, Nick.
Yeah, he does some great stuff. So Dan, I will Erin and Ernie, if you guys don't mind, I'll connect you with Dan, and that way you guys can talk a little more and help him out. You're gonna love him. Him and his wife, like I said, are great people. And I love chatting with them, and hopefully we got to get Dan out to the collective sooner or later, man. I think he'd love coming out to that too. So, all right. Well, I think that handles everything. I need to find out why the comments. Hopefully, we didn't miss anybody else's comments, but I'm glad I caught Dan's on the private message. So thank you for sending me a message, Dan, before we got off of here. We are pretty much done. I think we're going to hit Michelle's. Michelle hasn't had dinner yet, so she's probably embarrassed for me to say that. But
what's for dinner?
I know. What are you having?
We went offshore fishing on Saturday and caught some trigger fish, so we're gonna cook some of that.
Yeah.
Like Blackstone hibachi grills.
Nice.
Yes.
So, and experimenting a little. I've become quite the little chef this quarantine, actually.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
That sounds fun.
I'll take a picture and post it.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Well, this has been great, Erin and Ernie. I hope we can have you guys back again down the road. We'd love to have you guys back and check back in with you. Hopefully, in times where we're all doing events a lot more. And yes, yeah, you'll see me and Nick in a month. A little over a month, we'll see you. And what's that?
No, probably not.
I mean, if you change your mind, I'm sure we can find space.
Maybe I will consider it.
Perfect.
We have definitely.
So, are able to have weddings. So
we have definitely found ways to cram everybody into a big room. It's like everybody's friends when you go to conference, right? So you just figure it all out. And Dan said he's going to try to catch the one next year or the year after. So cool. So all right, I'm gonna definitely connect you guys with Dan. Make sure you guys can chat with each other. Nick, I'm gonna let you close it out because I'm the one running my mouth all the time. So I'm gonna let you close it out.
You're good. I really appreciate you guys being with us. Honestly, the conversation's always, good. This was super insightful. I learned something from it. Seeing what you guys are doing is honestly inspirational to me, and hopefully it is to other people too. There's always, if it's coming from your heart, it's just awesome to see. So we sincerely appreciate you guys being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, super fun.
All right, guys, we will see you next week. And until then, have fun, keep working on your business. And thank you for being a part of Wedding Business Growth. We'll see you next week.